Okay, so for this next video, we're going to create the spacer design located on page 127 in your book. Now, for the spacer design, I'm actually going to start with the drawing for the guide plate. And I'm going to erase what I have. And the reason I'm doing that is simply so I don't have to recreate my layers. And this is a quick way to not have to recreate your layers for every drawing. Later on in this class, I'll show you how to create templates so you can actually have a standard template for your layers and, in fact, your drawing pages as well. But we're not going to get to that or set that up today. The other thing that we need to do, if we look at this drawing, is we need to change our precision, because our precision here is 2 decimal places. You can see we have 2 decimal places here, so we're going to go into AutoCAD. We're going to choose Format, Units, and we're going to change the precision to 2 decimal places and hit OK. And then finally, we're going to go into Format, Style, choose Modify, go into Symbols and Arrows, and we're going to change our center mark to a center line. And again, we talked about this in the last video. The center line looks like this, where the center mark only has a very small center mark. And in this particular video, or this particular drawing, you can see it uses a center line rather than a center mark. Okay, so to start this drawing, we're actually going to start by making a little bit of a box. So we're going to create a line of 6. We're going to then go up by 3. How do we know this is 3? Well, this is 3 because we know this radius is 1.5. So if this radius is 1.5, we know it's 1.5 from here to the center and another 1.5 from here to the end. So 6, 3, and then we're going to go over 2, a little jog of 0.5, 2, a jog of 0.5, and then finally another 2. So let's go ahead and do that. So we come over here to our drawing. We start with a line. We can start anywhere. We need to make the correct layer. As you can see here, I'm in green. I'm in my center layer. I need to be in my objects layer. Go into our objects layer. And I'm going to actually move that over a little bit. We can over here. We'll start here. And we go over by 6. Up by 3. Over by 2. Down by 0.5. Over by 2. Up by 0.5. And over by 2. And then we hit escape. Okay, so this line here we don't actually need, so we're just going to go ahead and delete it. So now we're left with this. We go back and take a look at our drawing. We see we have these 2 circles, diameter 1.25. Let's place these circles. Now, these circles are going to be located 1.5 inches up from the end point of this line. So we could do a snap from, but we don't actually have to. We can just use our tracking. And to make sure that your object, you need to make sure your object snap tracking is on. So you should have this lit up here, the object auto snap. And what that'll do is that'll allow us to track from a given point. And so if I choose circle here, when I click on this, you can see, or I'm sorry, I'm not clicking. When I just hover over it, we'll get a little square, and then as I move away, I'll get a tracking line. And if I turn this off, you can see when I click on the circle, I can hover over it to get to get the tracking point, or to get a snap point. So I could snap to put the circle there, but I don't get a tracking line if I pull away from it. So that's what the object snap tracking does. So again, we're going to start this. We get our circle, and then we get our tracking line. Now once we get that tracking line, we can type 1.5, and we hit enter, and that places our circle, places the center of the circle. And then we need to check our diameter. Diameter is 1.25. So we come back to our drawing, and we type 1.25. Now, we could actually just copy this from here to the other side, or we could do the same thing on the other side to create the circle. Either is appropriate. And AutoCAD, like any other program, it doesn't matter what you do as long as the results are the same. So whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to do the same thing I did previously. So I choose circle, I get my snapping line, I move up, get my tracking line, type 1.5. Again, remember, I don't, excuse me, let me place this first. When I get that, see that little square here, I don't hit my mouse button. I just slide away from it to get the tracking line. Now once I have this, I have to place an arc. And the radius of that arc is 1.5. So capital R is a symbol for radius. And typically on drawings, the diameter symbol is used to represent circles. The capital R is used to represent arcs. So this is why you see a diameter symbol here and a radius symbol here. So we need to use the arc command. And like the circle, the arc has many different ways to select an arc. So you can choose a start, center, end, start, center, angle, start, center, length, start, end, angle, start, end, direction, start, end, radius, center, end. Doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. You need to use one that's appropriate. But we can use start, center, end. We basically need to use a 3-point one because we have 3 points, right? We have a start, we have a center, and we can have an end. We could use center, start, end. Or any other one that's appropriate. A 3-point one wouldn't work for us because we don't know a point out here. I guess we do know a point. 1.5 inches out from the center here would be a point, but that wouldn't be a convenient way to draw an arc. So anyway, we're going to choose start, center, end, and I'm going to start at this point. My center is going to be the center of the circle, and then the end is going to be this end. Now, you can see the arc is in the wrong direction, and as I move this, occasionally you'll see it pop up, specify endpoint of arc, or, and then it says hold control to switch direction. So when the arc is in the wrong direction, you can hold down the control key and it'll actually switch the direction of the arc. That completes the arc. Do the same thing on the other side. Start, center, end. Okay, so that completes our drawing except for the center marks. So let's go into our center layer. We'll choose center mark. Now, let's take a look at our drawing for a second here. Note that the center marks come all the way out beyond this outer circle. When we're making our center marks, if we choose this inner circle, the center line will only come out beyond the circle or arc that we choose. So if we choose the inner circle, the line will only come out beyond this inner circle. We need to choose the outer arc to get the line to properly come out beyond the outer arc here. So we come back to the drawing. Again, we'll choose the center mark, and then we want to select the outside arc. And there we have our center mark, and then we choose our center line, I should say. Choose the center line again, and choose the outside. Now, the one thing that we're missing is that we don't have a continuous line between the two. So we can actually fill that in with a line. And we can just draw a line between these two. So that completes our drawing. We can save this file, save as, and we should just call this spacer. And save the drawing. And that's the end of this video.